It is entirely possible to get the legendary weapon or armor that you want using a farming method, and in this video I will show you how to use that farming method in Fallout 4. Hi, I'm Mo and I'm trapped in Fallout. In order to use this farming method, you will first need to go to a location that is likely to spawn legendary enemies. And there are a few select locations in the game that do that. And one such location is this location over here, the National Guard Training Yard. The location itself is far northeast of Diamond City, so way over here, and southwest of the Dunwich Moors. Now, to use this farming method, you don't have to be at this specific location, but this is one such location that generates random enemies at legendary level. Another location you can use would be Hubris Comics. But anyway, ignoring that, let me explain how this actually works before actually showing you how it works. So, as said, when we go from one part of the game to another, in particular when we load into an area, there is a chance that an enemy might be legendary. And that chance is also dependent on your character level as well as the difficulty that you're playing the game at. So in my game, I'm currently playing at the most hardest difficulty. So not survival, I'm playing at very hard. What you want to do is enter this building, and when you enter this building there will be a chance that the enemy will be legendary. If there are none that are legendary, then you simply reload your save file and re-enter the building, and this will have a brand new probability of enemies being legendary. So if I were to go into this building right now, there is a chance that the enemy might be legendary. If they aren't, then I simply reload this save file and go in again and try again. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and save my game here. And now I'm going to go ahead and enter. Now that I am inside, before we actually go and look at the enemies, let's take a quick look at my load files. So this was the file that I manually created. So I created a hard save, so to speak. And this is the file that was automatically generated when I entered the building. When you play Fallout 4, as long as you're not playing in survival mode, in any other mode, when you sort of enter buildings or enter any new areas, automatic save files are created. And this is one such file that's been created. Now this will become important in a moment, but it's just something to take note of. So now if I go around, let's see if any enemies have actually generated that are legendary. So I'm going to quickly go ahead and see if I can see that. So that enemy there is not legendary, so let's just take him out. That is also not a legendary, so let's just go ahead and take him out as well. And this enemy is a legendary, so that's good. We actually have an enemy that was legendary. So let's go ahead and quickly take him out. Now what I'll do is just quickly skip to that part of the video where I've basically taken them all out. Okay, so I've taken out all the enemies. So if I now go ahead and look at this legendary enemy, then notice that this enemy on this automatically generated save file has generated a missile launcher, and it has the kneecapper effect on it. In other words, it has a chance to cripple the target's legs. Okay, so the way this works is really this. If we now go ahead and reload the automatically generated file, what will happen is this will recreate the same enemy with the same legendary weapon type, but not the weapon effect. So if I go ahead and just load this save file, and what I'll do is I'll just run straight to the enemy because I know which enemy is the legendary enemy. So there you go, this is the legendary enemy. I'm just going to go ahead and try and take this guy out as quickly as I can. Okay, so now that I've taken out the enemy, if I go ahead and search this enemy, then notice it is the same weapon type, but the effect is different. So this is how you can basically use this farming method to get the legendary effect that you want. However, so far we've only seen really this one weapon. We haven't seen any other weapons or, as a matter of fact, any other armor. So what we'll do is we will load not the autosave, but this time we will load the hard save file. So let's go ahead and load this one. So now that we are back at the door, let's go ahead and enter the building. And with that, again, we need to be lucky. We need to have some enemies in here that are legendary. But before we do that, let's look at our load save files. So this was the previous one where we know that this save file will automatically generate a missile launcher with some random legendary effect. This is the one that's just been generated. We need to see if we're lucky enough. So again, I'm going to quickly go around and see if there are any legendary enemies. So let's take out that guy. So that's not legendary. That isn't legendary. That isn't legendary. And they're not legendary. So in this instance, we were not lucky enough to get any legendaries. So again, we're going to go ahead. We're going to delete this load file. We're going to keep the old one because we did get something out of it. But we're going to go ahead and load the hard save file. And again, let's go inside. Okay, so now that we're inside, let's see if any new legendaries have spawned. So that isn't a legendary, and this is a legendary. So let's go ahead and take this one out as quickly as we can. Okay, so with the enemies taken out, now let's go ahead and observe this enemy. And this time notice that I have a switchblade. And this is basically the trick. So just going as a summary point of view, create a hard save file. And then just before entering, you will now have a point in the game or a checkpoint where when you enter this building, a enemy will randomly be legendary or not. If it is, then it will have a fixed weapon for that autosave. So in this case, I had the switchblade. In my previous autosave, it was the missile launcher. Once you get the weapon or armor that you want, if it has the legendary effect you want, then that's it. You just carry on playing the game as normal. If it doesn't have the legendary effect that you want, then what you want to do is just reload the autosave file and keep on going in that cycle until you get the item that you want. And this is basically how you can effectively force the game to give you the legendary weapon or armor that you specifically want. Now, the other thing to probably say is the types of weapon and the types of armor are considered to be better. In my testing anyway, I found them to be better the higher your level and the higher the game difficulty. Using the legendary farming method shown in this video will certainly help you to get the legendary weapon or armor that you want. But did you know you can also combine modifications of different weapons to create godly weapons? And this includes combining or rather compounding them with legendary effects. Click on the video you see on the screen now and I will show you how to create godly OP legendary weapons in Fallout 4. Click on the video you see on the screen now to find out more.